Next on ABC7's Good Morning El Paso Weekend, Texas continuing to get slammed by severe storms, causing deadly situations with flooding and more on the way. A former Fort Bliss soldier convicted of manslaughter in a 2014 construction zone crash won't see the inside of a jail cell for his sentence. And a strange situation leaves a city rep with questions about ethical conduct involving the chairman of the Ethics Commission, the city manager, and more. In Storm Track Weather, Iris.
Well, so many events happening this weekend. I'll let you know what you can expect.
It's all the news you need to start your Saturday, May 28th. ABC7's Good Morning El Paso Weekend starts right now.
Live, where news comes first. From the Mesilla Valley and Las Cruces to El Paso and the borderland. This is ABC7's Good Morning El Paso Weekend.
Well, good morning, El Paso, and thank you for joining us. I'm Andrew J. Polk. Parts of Texas are bracing for more rain after flooding kills one and leaves 3 others missing. The forecast through the holiday weekend called for scattered or isolated thunderstorms in central and southeast Texas, but officials say they will be monitoring local rivers and waterways, which could rise out of their banks in the coming days due to the heavy rains. The Washington County judge said Friday that 1 person drowned and another was missing in his area after their vehicle was swept away. An emergency services spokeswoman in Travis County said officials there were still searching for 2 people missing from a vehicle washed away on a flooded roadway. This is the second series of floods to hit Texas recently. Back in April, 9 deaths were reported due to the flooding. So getting to our Storm Track weather now. Get your first forecast with Storm Tracker Iris Lopez. Good morning, Iris.
Good morning, Andrew, and a good Saturday morning to you all. Right now, let's just get to the temperatures if you're going to be heading outside. Early this morning, 66 here in El Paso. Sunny skies. Those winds not going to be an issue, and you can see Las Cruces, 65 is what you can expect. Sunny skies, winds not an issue for you all as well. Let's talk about what's happening all around the southwest. If you're going to be heading out of town, you can see we have 60s pretty much all across the board with some 70s. So pretty much a warm day. Your breakfast forecast, 72, and then you can see 79 by your 10 o'clock hour with those sunny skies. Coming up, we have all your planners if you're going to be heading out to all these events. Well, I'll let you know what you can expect coming up.
All right, thanks, Iris. Check back in just a bit. Meantime, though, after an emotional set of pleas inside the courtroom, the jury for a man convicted of killing 2 construction workers have made their decision. John Michael Nieves will not be serving any jail time. Nieves was found guilty on 2 counts of manslaughter Thursday for crashing his car into a construction site. Even though he was legally drunk at the time, the jury chose not to find him guilty of intoxicated manslaughter. So for his punishment, the former Fort Bliss soldier was sentenced to 10 years probation. During the punishment phase, Nieves' defense attorney and the prosecution made an emotional plea to the jury. Nieves' defense attorney said, quote, "I ask for mercy, mercy for Jan, this young man who has so much to offer his community." Now, the prosecution closed its case saying, quote, "Think about all the choices the defendant has made that led to the deaths of these 2. He, by his choices, gave Green and Broad Street a death sentence. He gave their families a life sentence." ABC7's Jerry Nahara was in the courtroom for Nieves' sentencing. He picks up the story.
There was 3 families in the courtroom Friday, Nieves' family and the families of the 2 TxDOT workers that were killed. The heartbreak was felt throughout the room. The judge presiding even saying this has been an emotionally charged trial for everyone.
There was just no way that any justice could be served tonight. Nothing that he could do is bring back my friends. And I just hope that he makes the best of what's left of his life.
Outside the courtroom, James Irving, a co-worker and friend of the 2 victims that died back in 2014, says James Green had a huge impact on his life. He was with the TxDOT workers the night they died.
Both of them were great guys.
Moments before, inside the courtroom,
We, the jury, have found the defendant.
the court clerk read the jury's recommendation: no detention and 10 years probation. The news brought Nieves' mother to tears. But perhaps the most emotional part of the trial was the impact statements. Victims Jimmy Joe Broadstreet and James Green's families confronted Nieves about that tragic day. James Green's youngest daughter was the first to speak.
He was an extraordinary soul with tons of love to give. He cared greatly and deeply about everyone.
Jimmy Joe Broadstreet's wife also spoke to Nieves, saying,
The Lord said, vengeance is mine. So I have to believe in my heart that God will make everything right in the end.
Nieves was consumed by tears. Following the sentence, James Green's family said the punishment was a travesty.
The jury told us today was that it's okay to go drink and drive underage, and that you can obviously premeditated drive and murder two innocent people and just walk away with a slap on the wrist. There's no punishment, there's no nothing for the actions that you choose. We're left with nothing. Like, all I have is a name on my arm to remember him. We won't hug them again, we won't do anything. And all because of him. It's just not fair. If it would have been my sister or any of them that did it, you can guarantee that they would be in jail or prison, but it doesn't count.
Nieves will have to pay $20,000 in fines. Reporting for Good Morning El Paso Weekend, I'm Jerry Nájera.
And in Las Cruces, the murder trial of Tai Chan will continue Tuesday. Yesterday, jurors heard testimony from a medical examiner. Our New Mexico Mobile Newsroom was in the courtroom. Chan, a former Santa Fe County Sheriff's deputy, is accused of shooting his fellow deputy, Jeremy Martin, several times inside the Hotel Encanto back in 2014. He says he was defending himself. Chan had a difficult time watching graphic images of the autopsy, while Martin's wife also remained in the courtroom. The medical examiner testified that Martin was shot 5 times.
And were you able to find the cause of death in this case?
Yes, I was.
And what was that cause of death?
It was gunshot wounds.
And do you also find the manner of death?
I have, yes.
And what is that?
Homicide.
Is it true that there were 5 in total?
Yes, it is.
And the ME told the court Martin was shot in the back, arms, neck, and buttocks. The doctor also confirmed Martin was shot from behind. She also says she found bruises on Martin's torso, left knee, knuckles, and cuts on Martin's eyebrows. The medical examiner told the court she's not sure what caused those injuries. A toxicology report also revealed Martin had alcohol in his system, but no drugs. A very unusual call has left City Representative Emma Acosta with many questions and not a lot of answers. Acosta tells ABC7 the call was from the chairman of the Ethics Commission, Stuart Schwartz, who you just saw, asking her to hold off on appointing local attorney Danny Anchondo. Schwartz said the call has nothing to do with Acosta, who Acosta appointed. Instead, it had everything to do with handling a complaint against city manager Tommy Gonzalez. Acosta, however, feels Schwartz was out of line, as she feels he was trying to influence her on who to appoint.
I think it was very unprofessional for him to have done that. I don't know why he did it. I don't understand why he doesn't want certain people appointed or new people appointed to the commission. I don't think that's his purview.
Anchondo has been serving on the commission since Acosta appointed him in February. He says he's been practicing law for 40 years and caught up quickly on the process. More than 100 leading doctors and professors have called on this summer's Olympic Games in Rio to be postponed or moved due to the threat of the Zika virus. In a letter to the World Health Organization, the writers said that the Olympics must be postponed or moved, quote, in the name of public health. The writers also warned that the Brazilian strain of Zika harms health in ways that haven't been seen before. The International Olympic Committee says there are no plans to delay or move the Rio Games. The Olympics are scheduled to begin on August 5th in Brazil, a country seen as an epicenter of the outbreak of the virus. But in good news, so far travelers have been pleasantly surprised at the airports for the Memorial Day weekend. Travelers reported quickly moving through airport checkpoints Friday after authorities opened extra screening lanes and used bomb-sniffing dogs. The extra dogs were concentrated at the nation's largest airports, but they were not used for all screenings. The Federal Transportation Security Administration was trying to offer travelers some relief after weeks of slow-moving lines blamed on an increase in the number of summer travelers and air travelers and a shortage of TSA security officers. A TSA spokesman and the extra dogs would remain well beyond the holiday. Nowadays, more and more shoppers are choosing to pay with a card instead of cash. The convenience of just carrying one card is better than carrying a pocket full of change for many people, but you could be part of a scam and not even realize it. As ABC7's Luke Liddon reports, you may want to give that terminal one extra look before you swipe.
It's something we do almost every day. Use our credit card.
I do use my card a lot, though, you know. I do use it on transactions for gas and stuff, for groceries and stuff.
But you could fall into a trap and not even know it.
Especially when you're pumping gas or whatever, that you're always worrying about, somebody's messed with the machine in any way.
It's called card skimming. This is an example of the device that fits directly over card terminals at grocery stores and other retailers. It also has a pen pad overlay to capture the user's pen. And take a look at this footage at a convenience store in Miami. A man placing a card skimmer right over the terminal in plain sight. The best way to avoid this scam is to get a chip-enabled card like this one, which you actually insert at the bottom of the card terminal as opposed to swiping. But not all stores offer the chip alternative.
El Paso is still trying to catch up with chip technology, and there's still a lot of places that still require you to, swipe your card.
This is supposed to be really safe, so yes, I don't have concerns. And it's just a matter of getting all my cards changed to chip.
Hopefully, the El Paso will become fully chip enabled soon.
So the next time you head to the store, be sure to look twice before you swipe. Luke Liddon, ABC7.
And if you think you've been involved in a scam, you can report it to the Better Business Bureau. We have a link over on our website, KVIA.com. And of course, don't forget to pick up your copy of the El Paso Ink this weekend. This week only in the El Paso Ink, the city says it's found dangerous conditions inside another downtown building, also owned by Billy Abraham. The El Paso Ink has the details. And DWI arrests are dropping in El Paso, and so are alcohol-related deaths. It's good news, but is it the Uber effect or something else? And a local businessman with a rare disease is in the fight of his life as a local scientist hunts for a treatment that will help. El Paso Ink is online at elpasoink.com and available for home and business delivery. Call the number there at the bottom of your screen, 534-4422, to subscribe. It is 8:11 right now, taking a live look at traffic this morning. I-10 and Sunland Park. Few vehicles out there as we get further into your morning for the start of your Memorial Day weekend. Got a lot of people heading to the roads. You can see here further down on the west side, looking like some regular weekday traffic starting up there. A lot of people heading out and a lot of events going on for your Memorial Day weekend. In the Storm Track weather, Iris.
Speaking of those events, we're going to go ahead and talk about them so you can know what to expect. Plus, we're going to talk about your Memorial Week coming up.
You're watching ABC7, where news comes first.